Okay, so you've done the first exercise of today, and hopefully it wasn't too bad. This one's very similar, just a little bit of an extra step as we go through the algebra. So start off in exactly the same way. The 8 is across from the 64, so it's the opposite. The x is across from the 90 degrees, so it's the hypotenuse. We're looking up at the top, which ones are we going to use? We've got O and we've got H, so we're going to use sine theta equals O over H. So I'm just going to write this down again. So sine theta equals O over H. Let's put in the information. So we've got the angle is 64, so sine 64 equals your opposite, which is 8, divided by H, which is x. So hopefully you can see that where this is different. Before, the x was always on the top of the fraction. Now the x is on the bottom. So what we're going to have to do, just like we did before, the x on the bottom times both sides by x, or the divided by x becomes a times by x on the other side, however you're thinking about this. You then, as we did before, get x times sine 64 equals 8. Now is just one more step that you have to add. You divide both sides by sine 64. Then you'd get x equals 8 over sine 64. So for that last step, the times sine 64 becomes a divide on the other side. So 8 divided by sine 64. Or you divide both sides by sine 64. I know if you're in my class, the way you're thinking about this is from this step here, if you divide both sides by sine 64, divide by sine 64, that then cancels out. So you're left with x equals 8 over sine 64. It's just the same both ways round, okay? So it doesn't matter which way you're thinking about it. That's what you're going to end up with. X is 8 over sine 64. Then just use your calculator. To use your calculator, first of all type in the fraction button, then type in 8 over sine 64. Round your answer again to one decimal place and you should get x equals 8.9. That's the length of x. If we look at the next one, so for this one, label the sides again. We've got 68, the 44 is across from the 68, so the 44 is the opposite. X is next to the 68, but it's not the hypotenuse, so it's the adjacent. So we've got O and A. Hopefully you're getting used to which one is sine, which one is cos, which one is tan. So O and A is going to be the tan theta, so we've got O and A. So write down tan theta. So tan theta equals O over A. You then just need to put in the numbers. So tan theta is the angle, so tan 68 equals your opposite, which is 44, divided by your adjacent, which is x. So that's 44 over x. Just the same as we had in the question above, the x is on the bottom, okay? So this time, move the x, becomes a times on the other side. So x times tan 68 equals 44. Then divide both sides by tan 68, or the times by tan 68 becomes a divide on the other side. So x equals 44 divided by tan 68. And then just type that into your calculator. So you press the fraction button to start with, 44, press the tan button, put in the angle, and you get as your answer 17.8 if we round it to one decimal place. So x equals 17.8. Okay, so for this one, exactly the same thing. Go through to start with. Should have a 90 degrees drawn in here. Will be in there in the question. Across from the 90 degrees is your hypotenuse. Next to the angle is your adjacent. You should be quite good at doing this. A and H, which one we're going to use? The one with A and H in is cos. So cos theta equals A over H. Put in the numbers. So cos of the angle, so cos 49 equals your adjacent, 76 divided by your hypotenuse, which is x. The divided by x becomes the times on the other side, so x times cos 49 equals 76. Divide both sides by cos 49, so x equals 76 divided by cos 49. Then use your calculator to work out the answer to 76 over cos 49, and you get your answer is 115.8 to one decimal place. That's the length of x. So that's everything for task 4 exercise 2 is all like that. All you've then got is to look at task 4 exercise 3. Task 4 exercise 3 is just mixing together the two ways. Mixing together what you did in exercise 1 with what you've just done in exercise 2. And you've got to choose which one it's going to be. When you'll be able to do that from when you first set out this equation here. Is the x on the bottom or is the x on the top? If it's on the bottom, it's the same as this exercise, exercise 2. If x is on the top, it's just like exercise 1. And I hope you get on okay with that. And please email me if you've got any questions. Thanks.